Cherie, welcome to the World Massage Conference. It's great to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I think we will just start right into things.
Sounds good to me.
Our topic tonight is targeting a niche market. So let's just ask that question first, is what is a target market?
Well, essentially what a target market is a group of people who share similar characteristics. And that sounds sort of vague, but we have a list. There is a slide on some sample target markets to kind of get those of you listening to think about this some more. For example, you have people with high-stress occupations. And that's a target market, but it's a very broad target market. It can include almost everybody on the planet. So you want to look into a smaller subgroup, like perhaps attorneys or military personnel. People like that would fit into a sub-niche of people with high-stress occupations. Pregnant women, which as you see as we kind of go through the list, is these are people that you can pretty well identify one way or the other. Sometimes with pregnant women, at some point it's very obvious if it's a pregnant woman. But these other people, it's not so obvious from necessarily externally, but they have characteristics that they do share in common. Athletes is another target market that a lot of massage therapists choose to work with, and you can choose to work with athletes in general, and yet many people will focus on either working with golfers, or cyclists, some kind of sub-niche of athletes. And some of these other things we have, people in self-improvement programs, which, by the way, I think that something along those lines is a really smart target market for any massage therapist to have. Somebody who's already involved either as an athlete or someone in a wellness program or self-improvement, because they're already looking to become more full as a human being, and so getting massage and body work becomes a natural adjunct for them. So it's not someone that you have to convince at all. And again, as a side slide, there's all these other ones, and I don't have to necessarily go through every single one of them, but these are just ideas of how do you pick a target market.
And again, the idea is all these people or all these groups share something in common.
Right. One of the things that while we talk about targeting your market, too often, therapists that I talk with, it's I just want to work on anybody. And while I understand that as a concept, yes, of course, if someone wants to work with you, you want to be open to working with them. But from a business point of view, where are you going to spend your money and time in marketing your practice? You need to be a little choosier, because otherwise you could just spend all sorts of time and money trying to attract everybody. And the bottom line is people really want to think that you are the best person for them. And so that's why it's smart to have several target markets, but if you have 20 target markets, then that's sort of defeating the whole purpose. People, there's an acronym, and I don't know, and I've looked and I can't find out who created this term, and it's called WIIFM. And the way it goes is you need to learn how to broadcast on station WIIFM. What's in it for me?
I love that one.
I do too. And I always have to say that with kind of a southern drawl when I just want to, I see myself as, these telecasters on some big television show saying that, come on down, station WIIFM. But to do that, you have to have target markets. And that is why I always coaching people on, if they've been in practice a while, sometimes you have target markets and don't even realize what they are, but to figure that out. But particularly when you're growing a practice, to find out what are groups of people that, fit in well with who you are as a person, what your strengths are as a practitioner. And again, the bottom line is, who do you want to spend your days day in and day out with?
Okay, so I guess you've answered the question, why is it important to have a target market? Is you've given a few good reasons to have a target market. One is you want to make sure you're with people or working with people that you want to work with, for one, because life should be fun.
Right.
You only have limited resources, which is, I guess, another reason, and you want to make sure you spend those as effectively as possible. And the other one you mentioned is that people want to work with experts,
right.
someone that speaks their language. And so, to identify with a target market, I guess, does that for you.
Right, and otherwise, when you're marketing, I see it as like, you're spreading, marketing is all about spreading